If we don't get no justice, if we don't get no justice, it's important that we're out here right now. Really quick, we passed by a giant photo of Gordon Parks,
Listen.
which I think folks need to understand is really powerful.
Yes.
And it's part of why we're here today.
Yes.
If you hadn't saw what happened to George Floyd, you may not have been activated. If you had saw what happened to Terrence Franklin, you might have been activated in 2013. Depending on what you see might be determining how you act. And Gordon Parks was a black pioneer, or just a pioneer of the camera.
Yes.
And when you see all these folks out here and you hear Soren tell them to tell it true, that is what we're fighting for. That, as people of color, is what I'm fighting for.
Yeah.
It's tough to have a conversation about justice when you have to get certain folks up to speed. We want to start on the same page and start moving from there. You have to educate yourself. You have to get up to speed. You have to look at your internal biases. You have to understand where your privileges is, where your cognitive dissonance is, and where you might be holding up the train.
Listen.
We all got it, but we got to check in with it so we can start making progress. And Gordon Parks showed that.
Yes.
And Wing, who sits on Chicago in 38, does it as well.
Yes.
An Asian photographer as well.
Wing Young Huey.
Wing Young Huey.
Thank you.
But make no mistake that even though what you see, they will tell you different.
Listen.
When Soren asked for KSTP to tell the truth, bet your bottom damn dollar they won't.
Yeah.
J. Coles wants to make 38th in Chicago and black lives getting shot and people of color getting shot by the cops look like a Law and Order SVU episode. As if it was justified. Say that ain't right. Say that ain't right. And when we talk about KSTP and people showing the truth, what they showed after Jonathan Javante Washington got shot by the cops, they held a headline that said BCA, police shooting in St. Paul. No officers injured. That ain't right. That ain't right. That's that bullshit. That's that bullshit. That's that bullshit. I don't care. I don't care what happened to the officer. That's their job.
Listen.
That's their job, dog. If a fireman runs into a fiery building, that's their job. That's what they signed up for.
Listen.
That's what they're here for. To do what they say they're going to do. That's integrity. Doing the thing you said you were going to do, even when people aren't watching.
Yeah.
Now you tell me if we hadn't seen that video when Todd Axtell had fired that man.
No, no.
When Todd Axtell had fired that man?
No.
So we got to show up and hold them accountable because them earning $70K a year isn't doing it. $70K can't afford accountability. You can't buy accountability.
Yeah.
I know that to be true because we've been out here doing this for free.
Listen.
We pay in our spirit, our energy, and our time. And for a lot of the people out here, they pay in their lives. You're standing on stolen ground.
Yeah.
You're standing on indigenous genocide. You're standing at the lynching tree of Justin Tigan, Cornell Handy, Marcus Golden,
Listen.
and the list goes on.
Listen.
We don't got the death penalty, but we sure as hell got the St. Paul Police Department.
Yeah.
And white folks may be standing up here saying, I voted Democrat, I don't stand for the death penalty, then why the fuck is you out here?
Yeah.
You better get uncomfortable. Because when they lynch a man, you better come out here and stand up. The same way you do when you stand up against the death penalty, when you stand up against guns. Stand up, bring that same energy. Bring that same energy. You can't tell me that if you've seen Django Unchained or Roots or any movie where they sick the dogs on a man, you didn't think of that when they sicked it on that naked man popping out the dumpster.
Wow.
That's the same damn thing.
Listen.
And I'm tired of having to hear the list of what he did, what his past is, what he didn't do, what he's about, what his record is. Let me tell you something. I don't care what that man did. He don't deserve to be bitten by dogs, tased, and then shot multiple times. That's the bottom line. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to show up to a conversation where I have to immediately defend a body of melanin who's been shot, tased, and bitten by dogs. That's not where I'm at right now. You can take that somewhere else. Start at baseline. That man didn't deserve that. And you see this happen so often with black men and men of color going through health issues, mental health issues. And then we write them off as criminals, crazy, or niggas.
Listen.
We write them off as not human. You bring that same energy that Soren said you bring for a light-skinned person or a white person that you would bring for Jonathan Javante Washington. Bring that same energy for your neighbor that you bring for the unhoused. Bring that same energy for the person you don't know for the person that you do know. And the BCA, the Bureau of Cop Apologists, they can take that shit all the way back home. They're not protecting anybody but themselves. And Todd Axtell, this is the first time he's had to humble himself on camera this often. And he better keep doing it. He better get used to it. Because the Minneapolis Police Department is sloppy. They do their killings on camera. But make no mistake, you don't become number 18 in the country out of 18,000 for the most lethal police departments in the country without doing your killings off camera. That ain't right. That ain't right. That ain't right. They do the killings off camera and then present the product to you that they're protecting you. Bullshit. That's that bullshit. That's that bullshit. And the last thing I want to say, and just parting, I know that a lot of men of color are seeing this a lot, and I know in a lot of other cities, you see a lot of men of color leading and whatnot, and for some reason here in Minnesota, you know, that's kind of void a little bit. And I don't know for what reasons or why not, but I'm asking my brothers and my just kinfolk to come to the lead. This city needs you. These people need to hear you speak. These people need to know about the work, and we need y'all. We really need y'all. Because it's tough to watch the lynching tree of George Floyd, Jamar Clark, all people that look like us, and then not see us around there. And I know that we don't trust some of these operations, organizations, or whatever it may be for our own past, because we've been built, we've been constructed to not trust certain things, but we need to come up. We got to start speaking. And I don't hold it against you if you don't, but I'm just saying, you have my trust and you have my confidence, because I see myself in you, and I see you in me, and I know that it's tough, but we got to start coming to the forefront, because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Mel Reeves. And I know some people wouldn't be here if it wasn't for me. We got to keep passing it down, pass down the ladder. And we got to give it up for folks like Toshira organizing events like this that are putting their lives on the line. Say thank you, Toshira.
Thank you, Toshira.
Thank you, Toshira.
Thank you, Toshira.
All power to the people.